Welcome back to another episode of Paint Society. We're here on the first official episode of my first paint job, and today we have Adam's Corvette C5. It's the 99, and we're gonna go ahead and take a closer look at it. Don't overthink it, it's just paint. Well, thanks again for joining me on this episode. In this series, we're gonna take this Corvette 99 C5 and we're gonna go over every single aspect of how to paint your car from home. We're gonna go over the sanding processes, the priming processes, the base coat, the clear coat. We're gonna do it all from home and show you how to ways to save money, ways to do it by yourself. So if you're the first time spraying a car or even working with a vehicle, if you follow this guide, you're gonna learn a lot of great information. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do when taking a look at a new project is let's assess what we have going on a particular vehicle. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do in any project is assess exactly what is going on here. Which paint is good, which paint is bad. Now, as far as I know, this whole entire vehicle is completely fiberglass, and if I am wrong, please correct me. So the good thing about fiberglass is that you're not gonna have any necessarily dents in the metal, but what you will experience is cracks just like this in the fiberglass panels. So we will be showing you some of the fiberglass repair that we're gonna do for these particular cars and in some other parts of the vehicle as well. We can see some chippage at the front of the door. Now, if we come across over to the hood, we can see that the hood has some oxidation on it. Now, this car was wrapped at one point and that wrap didn't help the hood either with the surface of the paint. You can see that it kind of left some residue and well, it started to peel and crack in some areas as well. So we're gonna show you in this series how to sand down paint without sanding too far and how to restore the paint. Well, we're also gonna have a different color in the future as well. We can see remnants still of the carbon fiber wrap that was on this vehicle at one point. So we're gonna have to go and completely peel it off. But looking at the side of the vehicle itself, it actually looks pretty straight, which I'm really happy about. Now, moving along to the back side of the actual vehicle itself, I'm really happy because if you come in closer, you'll see that this paint actually has a good gloss. Now, Adam has had this vehicle for over 23 years, been in the family, but it has not been on the road at least 5 years. It's only picked up 50 miles, but it's been sitting underneath the car cover, which is really gonna help us out because all we're gonna need to do with panels like this is just give them a scuff. So we'll explain to you in this series, how far do you need to take paint? Do you need to primer the whole vehicle? Can you just scuff it up and put paint right over it? But let's take a look at first of other work we need to do on the vehicle. So if you come closer here, you can see that we're gonna have to fill some of these holes. At one point, there was a spoiler here, like a wing spoiler of some sort. So on the back side of the vehicle, if you come in, you'll see that there's some bolts and nuts that we're gonna have to take out, and we'll show you some fiberglass repair and how to shave holes. But taking a look at the vehicle itself, it's all there. There was no major accidents with this vehicle, so everything lines up pretty well. Coming across to the back, if you pan in right over here, you might be able to pick up that there's a bunch of spider cracking in the vehicle. Now, this is gonna happen sometimes with fiberglass panels. Since they're not necessarily flexible, they can crack. I don't know yet if this is fiberglass. I don't think it is. I think this is actually plastic. But if there's not any flex additive in the paint itself, you will see cracks like this as well. So as we move across to the other side of the vehicle, our quarter panel and our door are in good condition. Now, I have a question for you guys that I don't know and we're unsure of, but will this unbolt? When we looked at it here, we can see that there are some sort of like torque screws in this area. How easy does this panel come off? So a lot of you guys might know the answer right away, because the idea here would be to remove as much as possible. Doing this at home, painting this in parts, is gonna make it a lot easier than painting it at one time. Now we're also going to be doing a color change, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we'll show you how to carry your color into the jams. So if you're going to keep the door jam color, you can see we'll show you how to two colors together and make them complement each other very well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what it has underneath the hood. Now what we have under the hood is the stock LS1. Now it has been rebuilt at one point with larger cams, and it's pushing a little bit more horsepower than OEM, but after everything has been completely redone, I think Adam's going to clean this all up and tune it up. A lot of guys are also wondering how to get these plastics all nice and restored, and this is the first sign of an older deteriorated car because the sun just is going to beat them and beat them and beat them. So towards the end of the video, we'll show you some products that we will be using in order to do some restorations on this as well. Now let's take a look at the inside and look at this 99 Corvette C5. And take a look at the interior of the vehicle. It's still running pretty well for over 225,000 miles. If we take a look at the wheels and tires, well, you see aftermarket wheels just do not last too well. They're pretty corroded. And you can even see that that's not a bow tie, but an imitation. So Adam actually picked up the OEM wheels for this vehicle, which we'll also be painting later on. It's going to complement our color scheme. You can see that the wheels are consistently bad on all four rims and tires. And as far as the headlights, we will be replacing them. In the end, we're going to go ahead and change up the style maybe a little bit. We'll show you what we're going to do. The vehicle at one point was hit in this area, but there are no relative signs of any damage. My assumption is it wasn't too bad because everything lines up pretty well. So let's talk about the plan of action for this vehicle. So what's going to be our plan of action for this vehicle? Well, I think this assembly is going to be one of the main episodes we're really going to want to look into, because on next episode, we're going to go ahead and disassemble the whole entire front clip, get all these parts off of the vehicle. That way we can individually work on them. You see, if we don't get these parts off the vehicle, we're not going to be able to sand and we'll really do a good quality repair, because when you take the parts off of the vehicle itself, you can sand all the edges, make sure there's no peeling, no cracking, nothing like that. So on the next episode, we'll see a disassembly of as many parts possible on here, and then we're going to talk about the particular products we're going to need for the paint job. We're going to do a volume estimator of how much paint you'll need so you don't overbuy and you don't underbuy. By the time the project comes here, you want to make sure you have all the right supplies. Also, in future episodes, we're going to show you how to get your compressor hooked up so you can start priming in your own home garage and doing some light sanding as well. Guys, I hope you're interested and excited for this first paint job here on Paint Society. And this is Brian reminding you, don't overthink it. It's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode.